When I moved abroad, I thought I was chasing freedom, a fresh start, and a better version of me. But instead, I found failure. Not the Bollywood kind of failure, just quiet moments where I felt that maybe I'm not cut out for this. I have felt failure in so many ways after moving. I failed to accept, I failed to express, I failed to get a job in first go, and I'm still failing at driving very badly. We all face failure, but often the first one hits the hardest. In this episode, I'll be sharing my story of my first, or actually many failures, and how it shook my confidence at the whole, and what it taught me about growth, resilience, and redefining success. I am going to talk about what happened and why it felt like a failure, the emotional setback, the fear, the shame, etc. The turning point, how I processed it, and how it helped me recover, the lessons that I still carry with me today and maybe forever. And lastly, how to reframe failure as a setting stone and not like a dead end. This episode is for anyone who has ever fallen down and wondered if they could get up and start from scratch. Let me start by saying failures are the pillars of success. We have heard this in so many motivational videos. We have seen posters printed everywhere. But when you actually fail, it never ever feels like a pillar. It feels terrible. Since moving abroad, I have failed in so many ways than I ever expected. I have failed to express in so many quiet ways. I failed to speak when I was so uncomfortable. I said yes to things which I hated doing. I laughed when I really didn't want to. And every time when I stayed silent, I felt further away from myself. I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. I failed to accept. I failed to accept that moving to another country could be difficult because I convinced myself that it would be a very easy task for me. I failed to accept that it might not get easier for a time and I have to still keep pushing even though nothing feels certain. I failed to accept that it might not get easier for a while and I have to still keep pushing even when nothing feels certain. I failed to accept that I have to figure things out on my own, have my parents to run back for every small thing. Getting married, moving into a new life, and moving to another country altogether could have been the hardest phase of my life. After applying for around 100 jobs, not getting the outcome which I expected felt like a huge failure to me. It felt very personal when I thought that it is not going to be that difficult to grab a job in another country. I mean, I knew there can be hindrance, there would be a little bit of challenge here and there, but I was not expecting this outcome. I had so many thoughts going around that maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I made a mistake of chasing or choosing this life. And dude, you guys, I'm still failing at driving. I'm so bad at it. Oh God. This might seem small to you guys, like failing on driving, failing to express you, it might feel a very tiny thing, but when you're actually living that and when you are going through all those phases in your life, it is so difficult. It feels so huge because no one actually prepares you to feel the failing, especially when you have moved your whole life to somewhere else and trying to start fresh. And when you're failing, that feeling is something which cannot be explained. With years of experience under my belt, I genuinely believe that I can get a job easily. I thought it won't take long. It would be like maybe 10 days until I upload my resume, get everything in place, or 2 weeks, or maybe a month, and I would definitely have a job in that span. I saw so many jobs which were completely aligned with my qualification, my experience. So I thought it is just a matter of time and I would hear back from someone. Koi na koi to will get back to me, okay? But but nothing like that happened. 15 days passed by, month and a half. I did not hear from anyone. Where I felt that I might have a space over here and it's going to be easy, not that difficult. There was this silence in between, applying for all the jobs and getting rejected and not hearing back from many of them. There was this silence, this huge pause, which was so heavy on me. I found myself spiraling in doubts. I was thinking that I was so overconfident, I misjudged my value in the market, and this constant fear that this has been a wrong choice. Moving to another country was an absolutely worst decision I could ever take. I was told by many of my friends and people over here who I know them. They told me that it might take time. You have to be patient. The job search or the job industry is not that easy, and it won't be easy with the current situation. I was so embarrassed to speak to anyone on the phone, to my family, friends, relative, because what would they think about me? It's been like, spite of having an experience of 10 years and having such good education, I was not able to even grab a single opportunity. It's not that I had this thing in my mind that, the level or the position which I was back in India, I would want to start over there. No, it was not like that. I knew I have to start from scratch, from basic, but I was not even getting a job which was at a basic entry level. That felt so, I cannot explain how it was for me. The only answers which I used to get was, you do not have a New Zealand market experience, and or even the education of New Zealand. It's hard, but that doesn't mean I'm failing. I started focusing on things which I can control, which was like my routine, my attitude, my efforts, and I stopped being so harsh with myself, because at a point I felt like it's me. I have taken that failure so personally. Then when I started talking about it, I felt that there were so many people who went through the same struggle, and that helped me realize that I'm not alone, and there are people who has faced similar challenges like I did. And that is what I really wanted at that point of time. It only made me realize that difficulty doesn't mean that I am failing. It definitely means that I'm learning. I was reading this one book at that time which told me to shift my focus. So basically it told me, instead of asking this, that why is this happening to myself, you can start asking question like, what is this teaching me? And that is going to shift your focus, your mindset so drastically, and you will, at least you would learn something from that. Failing after moving abroad feels like you're trying to learn how to swim when you're already at a deep end, panicked, overwhelmed, but still kicking so hard to somehow find a way out of it. What helped me, like, now since I've explained all my failures and how I felt through terribly, let me tell you what helped me. One, stop comparing yourself to others. Everyone has different timeline. Some might be good at it, some might take time. It all depends on the market condition, and it's definitely not you. Celebrate small wins. So this I've learned from that book which I was reading. I still remember I got a call from a consultant, and they told that they might have something for me, and if I want, I can come and have a look. They might have 2 3 profiles for which I can go for an interview, and then they'll take it from there. And I was so happy listening to that. I remember cooking a nice meal and enjoying that. That was like my first stone of success. I mean, I have not given my interview, I did not even go and see the profile, but just receiving a call, it made me feel so happy. Third, this thing not only helped me with the failure phase, but this journaling is what I'm going to talk about, helped me through my entire moving to another country, getting married, getting settled, moving to another life altogether phase. I journaled, I've written all my thoughts without judgment. I mean, I used to write how I'm feeling, and it helped me so much. Like, I could recognize my thoughts when I'm putting it down, and when I recognize it and I know what I'm going through, I can accept it. Maybe I can make some changes in how I'm feeling. So journaling Definitely, definitely the one. If you are in a space where you feel that everything is going wrong, just take a break. Remember that you're not alone. Give yourself some grace. Feeling doesn't mean that feeling doesn't mean that it is the end. It is the beginning of building something super good for yourself. Just be patient. Drop a comment down below if you feel the same, or if you have felt something and you would want to share it with someone else. It would be great to feel that I am not alone and I still have someone who has been or who is going through the same what I'm going through, because basically in life we only learn through our failures. So let's learn together. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for listening to me. Please subscribe if you feel a little bit relatable. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.